Okay, ji. Statistics, lecture number 2. This is your group data, single and range. In the first lecture, what we did was we completed the ungrouped data. Ungrouped data, we made sure that we understand mean, median, and mode with the data just given as raw. Now we'll make sure that we understand the group data. We'll be doing the single and we will also be doing the range. So both of the questions we'll try to figure it out, and we'll make sure that how to find out mean, median, mode with the group data. So we'll be doing mean, median, and mode of group data. Now, group data will be single as well as it will be for the range. If I say, let's just a normal example. Let's say that in the random survey, we have 100 adults. Their shoe size were noted. Shoe sizes were noted. Let's just use the table form. Let's say shoe size and number of adults. The shoe size was, let me just write it down in a shorter space so that we can use it. So I'll just have shoe size, right? And we will have number of adults. Shoe size will be 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. For number of adults, we can have 10, 10, 20, 40, and 20 again. So now you need to understand that what does this represent? This represents, if I just say that your shoe size represents X, where number of adults basically represents frequency. That how many adults were there, because single units, if I say size is same for all, right? But how many adults will have 6 as their size? So there are 10 people, right? So this will be that 10 adults have 6 size, 10 adults have 7 size, 20 adults have 8 size, 40 adults have 9 size, and 20 adults have 10 sides. So altogether, there are 100 individual, and this will give me, this entire data will give me the frequency. Now, considering this, the question, the entire question is based upon the data that is given, and the question will be reflected as such that write down model shoes. This is your single data. So you need to give model shoe size. The part B will say median shoe size, and part C will ask you that you need to calculate mean. So considering that you already know that your model shoe means mode. In ungrouped data, we used to say the repetitive number is your mode. So here, your model class or your mode will be with the highest frequency. That means the most number of adults wearing shoe size will be the mode. So let's just say that if I need to consider or I need to take out the model shoe. So I need to look at the frequency. Your frequency is number of adults. So 10, 10, 20, 40, 20. So out of all these five, I see 40 is the highest frequency. So when 40 is the highest frequency, your 9 will be the mode data. That means with the highest frequency, I can say that 40, with the 40 as the highest frequency, 9 will be the model shoe size. So part A will have model shoe size, which is equal to 9, because 40 is the highest frequency. Now, highest frequency means number of occurrence, highest number of occurrence. So this will be your what? This will be your model shoe size. Part B. Now in part B, the question says we need to have median. Now for median, we need to understand that your median data will depend upon the frequency. Your median data will depend upon the frequency. When we did the ungrouped data, I shared that for median, you have two things. Number one is odd data. Number two is even data. For odd, your formula is n plus 1 upon 2. For even, it is n upon 2, n plus 2 upon 2. Now, this data, odd and even, will be reflected with the help of what? Frequency, total frequency. And total frequency we know were 100 adults. So, n will become 100. So, n is 100, which is even. So, if it is even, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the even data. We are going to use the even data, which is 100 upon 2, comma 100 plus 2 upon 2, which will be 50th and 51st. 50th and 51st terms. Now, these terms will be through what? Frequency. These terms will be through what? Frequency. So, I need to understand where does the 50th and 51st frequency lies in the data. So, if I see that your frequency starts from here, 10. If I add this 10 to this 10, so here we'll get 20 frequency. And if I add this 20, so that means till here I'll have my 40 frequency in total. But I need to have my term as 50 and 51. That means I need to have my frequency as 50 and 51. So I need to use this next term. So in the next term, you know that your 50th frequency and 51st frequency will occur. In this term, your 50th and 51st frequency will occur, because 10 plus 10 is 20, 20 plus 20 is 40. And after, when we add this 40, this will give me sum of what? 80. So between this, after 40 till 80, your 50th and 51st term will occur. For this, your median will be what? 9. It is not important your mode and the median will remain same. Because of this question and the frequency level, your median and the mode in this are coming as same. So what we're going to do is we're going to write as median as 9. Your part A model class was 9. Your model shoe size was 9 because the highest frequency of 40. And then we took out median because the data was, the total of the frequency was 100. So we know that 100 is an even number using the formula 100 divided by 2 is 50, and 100 plus 2 upon 2 is 51. So your 50th and 51st frequency came down here. So we took down this 9. 9 plus 9 divided by 2 is 9 again. So median is what? 9. Now we are finding out what? Mean. For mean, what you need to understand is that your data, your formula for mean to represent the data will be summation of fx upon summation of f. Now, how do you get this fx is when you multiply f with x. And how do you get the f? When you total the frequency. So if you just look at the question back here, right? So this was your question. Now we knew that this is your x and this is your f. This thing from this particular aspect, we knew that x and f. So we need to find what fx. And how do you find fx? When you multiply this f with x. So 10 into 6 will be what? 60. So we write down what? 60 here. Then what do we have? We have 10 and 7. So we write down what? 70. We have 20 and 8. So 20 into 8 will become 160. So we write down this as 160. Then we have this 40 and 9. So 40 into 9 is 360. Then what do we have? We have 20 and 10. 20 into 10 is 200. Now, what does that mean? Summation of fx upon summation of what? F. The formula is summation of fx upon summation of x. When you have the data, what you're going to do is you're going to add the data. So that means this adding up this particular data of frequency will give you summation of f. Whereas adding up this data will give you summation of fx. So if we just add down, so we understand that this data will give me 100 summation of f, and the data of fx will give me what? 850. So if I need to find out mean, so this should be 850 summation of fx is 850 upon what? 100. So the answer for this will be 8.5. The answer for this should be 8.5. So whenever I need to find out mean, what we'll do is we will always multiply the f. This is your f. This is your x. You multiply this f with x, f with x, f with x, f with x. This will give you your fx values. And when you add the entire f, this will give you what? Summation of f. And when you add the entire values of fx, this will give you summation of fx. Whenever you need to find out mean, your mean formula is summation of fx upon summation of f. Your fx is 850, whereas your f is 100. The answer is 8.5 for this particular data question. Okay, so here's another question in front of you. Now, this was tested in November 2015, paper 1 question number 13. So find the mode. As I said, that mode is the highest frequency. Your highest frequency is 15. So your mode will be 3. Write down here. Calculate the mean number of the films watched in a month. To calculate mean, so you need to have fx as well, because you know that sum of f is equal to what? 50. Sum of f is equal to 50. So 5 zeros are 0, 12 ones is 12, 26, 45, 16, and there should be 5, right? So if we just add all the numbers using the method, the answer will be 0 plus 12 plus 26 plus 45 plus 16 plus 5. 12 plus 26 plus 45 plus 16 plus 5. We have 104. So this is 104. Submission of fx upon submission of f, which is 104 divided by 50. So the answer is 2.08. So mean is basically 2.08. So this is how you're going to work with ungroup data. Now let's just work upon another example question. Here we go. Let's say we have this 7A part 1, 2, and 3. Let's just work upon all the parts. Write down the mode. So again, mode is the highest frequency. The highest frequency is 1. Or the highest frequency is 6. The answer will be 1 here, right? So the answer will be 1. Then you have to work out the mean. So mean is you need to find out fx. 4 zeros are 0, 6 ones are 6, 3 twos are 6, 6 again, 4 ones are 4. This should be 20. The total number of days are 20 because it is given here as well. You can obviously add down the numbers too. Let's add down the numbers. 6 plus 6 plus 6 is 18. 18 plus 4 is 22. 20 plus this should be 42. Summation of fx upon summation of f. 42 upon 20. So when we solve this 42 upon 20, we end up getting what? We end up getting 2.1. So the answer for this is 2.1. Now over the same 20 days, EMA received a mean of 1.7 letter. Each day, how many letters did the EMA receive altogether? Basically, you need to find summation of fx. So if you need to find summation of fx, for that particular thing, summation of fx upon summation of f is equal to what? Mean. Now in this thing, you already know that your mean is 1.7. You do not have summation of fx, but you know summation of f is 20 because number of days are there. So EFX is equal to what? 20 into 1.7. So you need to understand that 20 into 1.7 will give you your EFX, which is 34. So the answer for this will be 34 letters altogether were there in 20 days. Okay. Now we'll be working down with range of the data. Let's just work down with the example. Mean, median, mode for the range of the data. Let's just say there are 120 people with height recorded. Now, the difference between these two datas are, if you want to understand, this is your single data, and when you have single data, this is your discrete data as well. You should be knowing the name. And when you have range, so this should be your continuous data. One is your discrete, the other one is continuous. So now we are working on the continuous data because we are working on the range. So let's just put down the example question as in height. Let's say X, we start off with 157 till what? 160. Then we have from 160 to 163. Then we'll start off from 163 to 166. This is your question. 169 to 170, 160, 6 to 169. And lastly, we'll be doing 169 to 172. And number of women, number of, let's say, or number of people. I'll just write down number of people. So number of people will be 18, 45, 39, 15, and 3. So now your question is based on this, right? And in the entire question, you have been told to write down, first thing is find mode. The second thing is find the mean. Find the mean. Or obviously you will be even asked to find out the median. So at the moment, let's work upon mode and mean. So for mode, you need to understand that your highest frequency will be your model class, because in this you will be asked about model class. So your model class is highest frequency is 45. So the model class will be 160. X is greater than 160 and less than equal to what? 163. This will be your model class value. But now, in the other part, the question wants you to find out mean. Your formula for mean will still remain same, that is summation of fx upon summation of f. But when you have range of data that is given, you do not have a single x given. But you know that this is your f, number of people is your f, which is frequency. So you need to find out the mid value of the range. Mid value of the range, which will be your x. Now, how are you going to find your mid value? Your mid value will be easily calculated using the lower and the upper value of the class width. Now, this is your class width, right? Your model class, will be your class width. So lower value of the class width is 157. Your upper value of the class width is 160. So what we're going to do is just writing down for the example, for the sake of example, so that you know the working. So we do 157 plus 160 divided by 2. So this will give you your mid value, and your mid value for this class width is 157 plus 160 divided by 2 is 158.5. This is your working basically. This is your working. Then again, for the other part, it will be 160 plus 163 upon 2, right? So this should be 160 plus 163 upon 2 is 161.5. So each time what you're going to do is you're going to make sure that your upper value and the lower value is taken into consideration. Here your lower value is 163, your upper value is 166. 163 plus 166 divided by 2, you will end up having what? 164.5. Similarly, your lower value is 163, upper value is 169. So you add them, divide by 2, your value is 167.5. 169, 172, you add them, divide by 2, you will get 170.5. Now, this is your value of x. So you don't need this working, you can do it directly as well, considering your lower value, your upper value, and dividing by 2. Now, let's just multiply. You need to have fx as well. And how do you get fx? When your frequency is multiplied with what? Your mid value, which is now your new x, because your range of data has been converted to single data, that is x now. So your frequency is 18, your mid value is 158.5. For this, your answer will be 2853. Normally, this is tested in paper 2. An average of 3 to 4 mark question is tested in the entire paper, and this thing is tested continuously throughout the different papers in the year. That means it can be tested in May, June, October, November, then again May, June. Then there might be a gap of 1 year, but this is tested normally. Then the next value is 161 multiplied by 45, which is 767.5. Then we have is 164 multiplied by 39, which is 6415.5. Then we have is 167.5 multiplied by 15, which will be 2512.5. And lastly, we will have 170.5 multiplied by 3, 511.5. Your fx, your value of fx will be, your value of fx will be the total of fx. That means you will be adding all these values. You will be adding 2853 plus 7, 267.5 plus 6415.5 plus 2512.5 plus 511.5. When you add all these values, you will indeed get the submission of fx. So your submission of fx here is 19560 and submission of fx is 120. This is your submission of f. This is your submission of fx. So when I need to find out the mean, what we do is submission of fx divided by submission of f, which the answer will be 163 centimeter. So this particularly is the range question for calculating the mean, median, and mode. Similarly, if you need to find out the mode, this should be what? 60 divided by 2 and 60 and 61. 60 and 61. So if you see that 60 and 61, so let's just work out in quicker way. That means I need to find out the median as well. So this is 120 n upon 2, n plus 2 upon 2, 120 upon 2, 122 upon 2, 60th and 61st term. 60th and 61st term, we need to find out through the frequency. 18, obviously 18 does not have 60 and 61 in it. So, but we'll add 80 and 45. So when we add 18 and 45, we get 63. We get 63 here. That means 60 and 61 will lie under this range. 60th and 61st frequency will lie under this range. So this will be your median. This will be your median through the term policy, that is 120 upon 2, 122 upon 2, and 120 upon 2 is what? 60 and 61. We'll be using the frequency addition in it. Here we have 18, then 18 plus 45 is 63. So obviously 60 and 61 will lie in this median range, which is 160 and 163. Hope that I've made myself very clear for this particular point. So there are two different data. One is discrete, the other one is continuous. When you have discrete, what we're going to do is we're going to directly multiply. When we have continuous data, that means range of data, we're going to pick up the mid value, and then mid value is multiplied with f to find the submission, find the value of f, to get the value of submission of fx by adding all the fx value, and then you divide by what? Submission of f, submission of frequency. I hope that I've made myself very clear. Thank you very much.